I'm going to get a little bit nostalgic first and talk about the beginning. A lot of you know the beginning of Chesmar, some of you don't know the beginning. As I think back in time, it was a really pretty incredible story. So about mid-March, about February, I left Lennar, booted out, bye, see you later, whatever. And then I was pondering different opportunities. I had a phenomenal job offer with a company that went extinct. Another interesting deal. So about mid-March, about a month after I left Lennar, I made a decision that I was going to go out on my own. Actually, I had an offer from a company that was called TUSA, it was the parent company of Newmark back then, and they were going to give me, I had to write $1 million bonus the first year. And I went home and I looked at my wife and I said, why would I ever go work for a company that's going to make a promise like that? Didn't really know that. Anyway, 3 years later, they're Chapter 7, gone, poof. And Chesmar 3 years later was very happy. So mid-March, we made the decision to go over to Chesmar. I started working on partnership agreement. I brought in 3 outside partners, one of which is still with us, and it's very small ownership. On April 22nd, this is mid-March to April 22nd, we put the partnership agreement together, we signed it, brought in the first $2.25 million in equity into Chesmar. So, and then we opened up, I don't remember, and by the way, Seth and Jana were here for all that, and their memory may be a little different than mine, but that's okay. Somebody once says that our memories make liars out of all of us, but I think I'm pretty accurate in this. So on Monday, April 22nd, we signed the agreement. On Monday, May the 2nd, 2005, was the first actual day of employment. We had Jan and Seth, and maybe I'll start that day. I don't know, maybe a couple of them started a couple of weeks later. I think by the end of June, we had 7 people, 6 or 7 people. On June the 6th, we started construction. On June the 6th, we started construction in a place called Forest North Park. So in those 5 weeks between starting work in earnest and starting homes, you can imagine what had to take place. Fortunately, Jana started doing some moonlighting. I think she was still employed by her previous employer. She started working on plans, actually completed the designs of the first 5 plans, and she completed the CDs of 4 of them. One of the CDs we got done by DPIS. That decided to donate it to us at no charge. So within those 5 weeks, what happened? And by the way, well, let me just tell you what happened. We finalized the plans, and engineering was done. The takeoffs were mostly done, Seth? Mostly done. By the way, there's a story in the business world about Lee Iacocca when he went to Chrysler and he wanted to try out again a convertible because convertibles went away. And he went to the engineers, and the engineers said it'll take 2 years to get a convertible for you. And he said, why? Take the car and cut the damn top off. Legendary story. So this isn't quite cutting the damn top off, but we plans were finalized, engineerings were done, takeoffs were mostly done, homes were costed, at least through the slab stage, I think, maybe frame. Seth had a lot of work to do. So did Jim. Lot contract was finalized and signed. All the stuff that happens with new communities was done. Lot fits, lot premiums, lefts and rights, and there's a whole lot of stuff I'm leaving out. Those of you involved in the communities know that. Options were selected and done. Home pricing was completed. We hired a CM and an AC. We hired a controller, an administrator, one or two initially. The accounting system was purchased and put into place. This is back office stuff. A lot of you don't get involved in. Office space was rented. Actually, our first office was in the lobby of a hotel. They didn't kick us out for a month. Wyndham Hotel in Bays Point. We met with everybody. When did we move into our office? It was probably June. Probably the beginning of June. Sales contract packages were put together. I call them conjured. The associate's handbook was put together. Other HR systems, payroll was put into place, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Certain outsiders came back and told me, and they actually spread this kind of rumor through the building industry, that I had started with Chesmar a long time before I left Lennar. And I can tell you that's absolutely not true, and you can ask the people that were involved initially. We got a lot of stuff done in a very short time. We were focused, we had a purpose. And it's why, by the way, with the DPs are out in the various division meetings, and I kind of roll my eyes when I hear it's going to take this long or that long, right, Randy? Cut the damn top off. Yes, Seth and Jan and others were with me from the start to verify what we did in that really short amount of time. So 8 months into our odyssey, the first 2/3, getting from really April, May till the end of the year, we were in 4 communities, which included the women's, okay? A group, and because we're bringing out a piece of it into it. And I think if there's probably one word I could use to describe Chesmar, it would be that trust that we have with each other. And very, very, very pleased with that. So I'm going to fast forward 18 years, right, today. 4 cities in the top 7 in the country, and if we use Ken math, we're the 3 cities that are the top 3 cities in the country. Yeah, San Antonio and Austin's 1 city. It's okay. We're approaching 2,500 homes, quite frankly. $1 billion in revenue. We'll get there. We'll be over 800 million again this year, so we're last year. Approaching 850 million in assets. That's a long way from we actually brought in 2.25 million initial equity. The next, beginning of January of 06, we brought in another 2.25 million, and then at 09 we brought in another $500,000. 5 million is all the equity we ever put into this company. 5 million is all the equity we ever put into this company, and then we sold it for $500 million 17 years later. Pretty good success. And most of the people in this room got a piece of that. I mean, we're going to end up, I think, with about 82 million a piece, which is probably very true. Over 400 employees, right? Chesmarians, mostly happy and engaged. We went down on the survey, which I think you all, since you're staying, need to pay attention to. I think we need to move those surveys back up again. This is not the first time we've lost ground, and like Jeannie said, last year was an exceptional, extraordinary year. So we can always do better, we can always improve. I think you guys need to continue to do that. And recognized in the top workplaces for over 10 years has been pretty phenomenal. And by the way, that's one of my proudest achievements and accomplishments, to see where we as a group have ended up with our peers in that deal. So, absolutely and unconditionally proud of our accomplishments. And I'm indebted to every one of you that was a part of this journey. But every day I remind myself what I didn't do, okay? And Ken, you should pay attention. I didn't build homes, didn't build any homes. I didn't sell any homes, I didn't process any invoices. I didn't do any purchasing, I didn't originate, process, or underwrite any loans. If I tried to underwrite, Sterling would get mad. I didn't process payroll or do any of the other HR deals. I didn't close homes, I didn't do any title searches, I didn't sell insurance, I didn't find land or lots to build homes. Actually, I did some of that the first 10 years, but probably not in the last 8. I didn't design any homes. I had opinions on some of them, but I didn't design it. I didn't permit any homes, and since the Sacasui purchased the company, I didn't even secure financing for banks